Hi, I'm Sharon. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through each of the ABRSM Theory grades. There are lots of resources available. If you visit my website, if you go to sharonbale.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets and they're available to download in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. You'll also find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can find information about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time on exam day when you're actually working through your exam paper. So if you visit sharonbale.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. And so now we're going to have a look at the Grade 5 2015 Paper A. So this was taken in the first exam session of 2015, and although the format of the papers have changed now from 2018, they've been revised, these previous past paper booklets still provide excellent resource for revision. So we'll work through this as a great revision exercise. So if you turn with me to page 2, and then as I always say, and I know that I'm repeating myself, I always suggest that you have a go of this on your own first of all. Doesn't matter if you go wrong, always write in pencil. Even on exam day I use a mechanical pencil and you know it's going to stay sharp, because if your marks aren't neat and tidy you may lose, if your answers aren't neat and tidy you may lose some marks. So have a go at this. It's always better to learn by your mistakes. It doesn't matter if you go wrong. You've got an eraser to hand and you can just rub it out and have another go. So I'm hoping you've had a go of this, and now we're going to look through this together. So all of these questions on this page for question 1 refer back to this little extract here. And so we're told that the extract begins on the first beat of the bar, and so we need to put in the correct time signature. So just glancing through, and I would suggest that this last bar will give us the answer easiest. So we've got to decide if we're counting in crotchet beats, quarter notes, or minim beats, half notes, or eighth notes, our quaver beats. And this bar will perhaps tell us, you might think at first that we're going to be counting in minim beats or half notes, but that won't work because then we've got half a minim beat here, which can't be accounted for. So let's try it in crotchet beats or quarter notes. So we know that there's 2 there, 1, 2, there's 2 there, 1, 2, and then this together gives us another 1. So we're in an irregular time signature of 5 crotchet beats, 5 quarter notes, and so that would be 5/4. By all means check that in another bar so we can see we've got 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. These 2 quavers or eighth notes give us another 1, and then here we know that these 4 demi-semiquavers or 32nd notes give us a half beat, and then there's a half a beat here, so altogether this gives us 1. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so you can see that that will work in each bar. So we've double checked that, and so now we're going to go on to the next one, which is this musical performance direction. I was going to read it, but you know, I think I'll save you from my dreadful pronunciation and I'll just go on and tell you what it means. Have a guess, just give it a go, because remember, all of these performance terms now are accumulative. Everything from grade 1, everything from grade 2, 3, 4 and 5 now could crop up, but from 2018 these will be given to you in multiple choice format. I'm not sure that that makes it any easier, because sometimes there's a red herring which can just throw you off the scent, so you really need to just revise these. I suggest that you group them thematically, and so this means to bring out the melody. So there's nothing for it but to just have a crack at revising these. I guess you could also say prominent. That's another way of explaining that. So the next question, we need to write as a breve or a double whole note the enharmonic equivalent of the note marked with a little star. So it's this one here. So it's a C sharp, and if you find that difficult to work out, I suggest you just sketch yourself a piano keyboard. It doesn't have to be a work of art, just something for an easy reference. You get scrap paper in your exam. So C sharp could also be D flat, and it could also be B double sharp. So either one of those will do. Just make sure that you get the correct octave. So here's the C sharp, and so the D flat will be here. So there's our breve or double whole note, and we need that to be D flat, so that would be acceptable. Alternatively, you could drop down to the B, and that would be double sharp. So there we go. Let's move on to the next one. So now we've got some harmony questions to consider. We need to describe the chords, either 1, 2, 4 or 5 where marked here, and we also need to show which position the chord is in, what note is in the bass. So let's first of all work out what we're looking for. So we want to look for chords 1, 2, 4 and 5. The key is A major, so chord 1 will be based on A, of course. 2 is B, C, D is chord 4, and E is chord 5. Now we need to build the first, the third and the fifth. So A, B, C, D, E. If you find that difficult to do, again, just A, B, C, D, E. You can count those. So chord 2 is B, D, F. Chord 4 is D, F, A. And then we know we've got chord 5 right, because there's the first, the third and the fifth. And so here's the fifth, E, G, B. So that's the thinking done. We've just now got to look at this. So, and actually we might as well prepare for the which position the chord is in. So A is when the root note is in the bass, B is the first inversion and C is the second inversion, just like a shuffling or a rearranging of the notes. That's all that inversion means. So here we have a G, a B and an E. So we can see that that's the notes of chord 5, and the G is in the bass, so it's in B position. So 5B will fully answer that question. So chord B here we have an E in the bass, a C and an A. Of course we know we've got sharps and things, but your key signature will take care of all of that. So we have an E, a C and an A. So that's obviously chord 1, that's the notes of chord 1, and because the E is in the bass we would say that that's 1C. Now this next one, we have a B, an F, a B and a D, so that's chord 2, and then the root note is the B, which we've got here. It's in its root position, nothing's been shuffled, the bottom note is in the bass, so we'd say A. You can just put chord 2 as well, and when there's no letter that automatically means root position, but I would just stick letter A in there just to be absolutely clear, so that you've fully answered that with no room for error. So let's move on to the next question. So we need to rewrite the first left-hand note of the extract so that it sounds at the same pitch. So be careful you don't jump your octaves, but we need to use the alto clef here. So we need to put in the clef in the key signature, and then we need to just make sure that we get exactly the correct pitch. So by all means use a ruler. So there's our alto clef, which is meaning that the middle line here is where the clef is centered around, and that is middle C. So that's a good anchor point to start from. And so the key signature is 3 sharps, so C, D, E, F is here. C is the middle line, of course, and G is this top line. So just be careful to place those carefully. Lots of use of the word careful there. So then here we go, let's just get down to the note. So we're looking at the first left-hand note of the extract, which is here. And if you just think about your anchor point, there's middle C. And so we're on the C, B, A, below that, 1, 2, 3 steps away. So C, B, A. So we've got exactly the same pitch and we've not jumped any octaves. And so the stem, of course, will now have to go up because it's below the middle line. So that's the end of that question. We'll look at the next question in the next video. I do hope this is of benefit to you. I hope that you're enjoying it. I'm certainly enjoying working through it with you. If you can give me a like, that would be super. Please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more to come. And please do go to sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.